through a video, but his words have affected his black teammates, the teammates he throws all his touchdowns to, his teammates who block for him, his teammates who defend for him, all that stuff. So like you said, like with words, there needs to be action. He needs to show that he means what he says, and needs to find a better way to go about expressing his thoughts and go about educating himself and learning about the oppression Black people faced, and putting himself in, like Yaya said, put himself in a different perspective, and to be able to not fully understand, but at least attempt to understand the plight of Black people in this country.
I couldn't agree more. And we already say, actions will speak volumes. And I feel like when people do see him essentially put his money where his mouth is, and start committing dollars and time to actually supporting the plight of African Americans, I feel like people will then start to support that change and show him love. And I feel like if he is able to do that, all of the great accomplishments he had in sport football and in giving charity to various New Orleans organizations, I feel like all that stuff can still be recognized if he shows productive, active change. And I also want to highlight how important it is as African Americans that if he does show growth, if he does show active growth and commitment to educating himself and bettering himself, that we applaud that and we support that as a model for other people to change, as opposed to still sort of holding a grudge for his previous comments. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like that. Like that's just the important thing, right? It's like, and also like the thing I respected was like Aaron Rodgers, for however people felt about him previously, what he posted on Instagram was like just super helpful, and it showed where he stood. And again, it's all about like banding together and unifying to help the Black community, right? It's not about you trying to like because Drew Brees might claim now he's an ally, but the problem is people are going to look at that and say you're not, right, based on his initial viewpoint. And the thing I was going to say too is I think the NFL needs to find some way to allow Kaepernick back into the league. I know some people have talked about that, just because he got alienated, I think, again, I could be wrong on this, but I felt like he got alienated so much that teams are just not willing to give him a chance. And I think that, I don't know. I mean, I think that, at least like the one thing the NFL could do is, say that he's like welcome back in the league and welcome back with open arms and allow him, because, when he was healthy, he was pretty good quarterback. He went to the Super Bowl with the 49ers. So, I don't know if that's something you like. I guess my question with that is like, what else do you need to see the NFL do? Because like the NBA is doing a great job with it, and they've always have. The NHL's done some good things recently from what I've read, but like, what do you want to see the NFL do? Because Roger Goodell, for example, was against this in 2016. What do you want to see from him?
Well, I saw like the NFL made a pledge. I can't remember how much it was, but it was something like around $100 million investment over like 10 years to like a Black organization. I can't remember exactly what the details were, but for me, like seeing the NFL pledge money doesn't really mean a lot. Like it's a significant contribution, obviously, because it's a lot of money. But one, if you look at like the percentage of their revenue along with just like actionable things that they can do, to me, the NFL pledging $100 million is not as significant as it could be. So like I look at NASCAR, for example, and like they had just banned the Confederate flag, I think yesterday, at their events. And like, I was very, very happy to hear, I think it was their commissioner as well, like talk about it. He was basically saying that like his family and like his ancestors, the people he comes from, were Confederate like people. They were slave owners, and the fact that he was taking the initiative to ban the flag that sort of represented his whole family and his ancestry, that to me is like actionable difference. And obviously with NASCAR, like that's a big risk to their brand, to their fan base, because they do have a lot of like a big Southern population within their fan base. So like for NASCAR to ban that, I think they're taking a risk at, again, like losing some revenue, losing some fans, but they're doing it for the betterment of like the one Black NASCAR driver and for Black people around the country. And for me, that meant a lot. So when you mention actionable things that the NFL can do, I think somehow getting Kaepernick back in would mean a lot, but also just like continuing to do tangible things as opposed to just giving money. Like I would love to see, I don't expect this to happen, but I would love to see like owners, even Roger Goodell, like taking a knee during the anthem or like something significant like that, because those people, even Drew Brees, like those people have some of the largest voices right now. Just to be honest, like a lot of white people's voices right now are bigger than Black people's, because you kind of know the way Black people are feeling about the situations. So I would love to see some of like the white participants in the NFL take a knee during the anthem or something like that.
Graham brings up a great point. I feel like white people should understand, or it'd be valuable for them to understand their platform, and if they are realizing the changes that need to happen, that their actions specifically speak volumes. And in regards to Colin Kaepernick and an NFL team signing him, this is just a thought that I have. Like, I don't understand why NFL teams aren't really salivating at the prospect of signing Colin Kaepernick, because I feel like, especially now, like that would bring so much support, so much. I'm just thinking in terms of like, if I'm an NFL GM, jersey sales would be through the roof, and that would be such a good look for your football team. Like, I don't know why it's such like a struggle. And honestly, it's probably indicative of like the destructive, the ego, the injustice that is so profuse throughout the NFL, that they're not willing to swallow their pride and take on Colin Kaepernick.
If you like that clip, like and subscribe to hear more from Shred Takes podcast show, and be in touch for more stuff coming up weekly.